Day one at the All England Lawn Tennis Championship, and in the bicameral legislature of world tennis, the hour of the empire arrives. No sports event guards its traditions more carefully. No sporting ground is more hallowed than Wimbledon's grass courts. All of tennis watches and waits. Lawn tennis, they have called it, from the roaring 20s of Big Bill Tilden through the serve and volley 40s of Jack Kramer. And decades later, the tennis world's leap into open professionalism spawned an era of renegade champions, personalities who opened up the game. And while some still see the championships as a cranky anachronism, a host too judgmental and easily offended, its trophy remains the central prerequisite to tennis immortality. So even the most irreverent surrender to the mystique of Wimbledon, Day 1, 1993. Where perennial contender, never a champion, Ivan Lendl is back for yet another campaign. He starts with American qualifier Brian Devening, 325th in the world. On court number 2, the famed upset court, Stefan Edberg of Sweden, ranked 3rd in the world but seeded number 2 here, begins his campaign for a 3rd Wimbledon championship against Canadian Greg Rusedski. Over on court number 1, the top male player in the world over the past 3 years, Jim Courier, seeded 3rd here, but ranked 2nd in the world behind Sampras, starts with Italian Gianluca Pozzi. Courier has yet to win Wimbledon. The same is true of Gabriela Sabatini. She made the final 2 years ago, has struggled with her game in recent months, begins here against Carrie Cunningham of the United States today. And perhaps the most even men's match of the day, 12th seeded Michael Chang, regarded by many as a slight underdog, against Dutchman Paul Haarhuis as they get together on court number 1. As we mentioned on center court, Andre Agassi gets the traditional honor as defending champion of opening the tournament there. He is seeded 8th and goes against the lanky German Bernd Karbacher, who's had some big success in recent months. And 6th seeded Michael Stich, John Lloyd's favorite to win the tournament, is against the left-handed Dutchman Jan Simmerink. Right now, let's take you directly back to center court where Agassi and
are going to be following some excellent matches on these outer courts today. On number 1, the number 3 seed, Jim Courier, a person who many people think can win this year's tournament, going against Gianluca Pozzi from Italy. Billy, what's Courier got to do to win this tournament?
Well, Courier's got to go to net off his first serve and occasionally off his second. But if he hovers at the baseline and just runs around his backhand, we know that he probably doesn't think he can win here.
All right, another match on court number 1. Paul Haarhuis from the Netherlands going against Michael Chang, the number 12 seed. A lot of people say Haarhuis could win this match.
Well, I think he could win. If Haarhuis goes to net off of Chang's very, very weak second serve, and remember, Chang's a retriever, and Haarhuis is very aggressive. So if Haarhuis stays aggressive throughout the match and doesn't think about the occasion, he can win.
All right, Jim, that's just 2 of the matches we'll be covering on court number 1. There's a lot of others. Back to you.
All right, thank you.
Well, Andre Agassi, obviously, having the problems with all the weight and the bad wrist. Tough to see him getting through the first week. Pete Sampras, number 1 seed, shoulder problems with his serve. Could struggle again in the first week. Michael Stich, he's my favorite, playing very, very well. And Stefan Edberg, he's the guy that I think is going to make the finals against Michael Stich.
A first-round match on the women's side. Also in the women's competition, Sandrine Testude of France knocks out a seeded player, Amanda Kutzer of South Africa. Excuse me, Kutzer defeats Testude 6-3, 3-6, 6-3. So the seeded player, Kutzer, safely through into the second round. The first seeded player to be knocked out of the tournament, on the other hand, is the Czech national, Karol Novacek, beaten by Luis Herrera of Mexico 4-6, 4-6, and then 6-3, 6-3, 6-3. So the chunky Herrera knocks out the veteran Novacek, first male-seeded player in the tournament to go down. So Elting of the Netherlands and Marc Rosset of Switzerland, they're in the 5th set, with Elting leading 1-love. Also, Derek Cristano of the United States, we told you earlier, he took the first set from Grant Doyle of South Africa 6-4. Doyle leads in the second 5-1. Christian Bergstrom of Sweden took the first set from American veteran Brad Gilbert, but Gilbert leads in the second 5-3. Laurence Thielemann of Italy, who lives in Belgium, a straight set winner today over Gilbert Schaller of Austria. And in a match between 2 talented grass court players, Mark Woodford of Australia is into the 4th set with a 2-1 lead over Shuzo Matsuoka of Japan. We'll keep you up to date on scores of as many matches as we can tell you about today. Meanwhile, now our live coverage continues as we take you over to court number 2 to take a look at the man Cunningham.
All right, Jim. Court number 1, Cunningham, down 5-6. Sabatini, the number 4 seed, trying to win out here the first set on court number 1. This has been a very close match so far, Billy. That will go wide.
Love 15.
Long rallies, both players staying in the backcourt.
Both players staying in the backcourt, and what's happening is Sabatini, for some reason, the last few months, has just gotten lulled into her old, inexperienced ways when she was a youngster coming over here, and just standing far behind the baseline and just having long rallies.
How about those space-age shades of Carrie Cunningham? I mean, it's bright, but is it that bright?
Well, a few of the players wear those glasses. Nice endorsement.
Now Sabatini giving a lot of room on that forehand down the middle, sort of tempting Cunningham to serve down the middle. Bad bounce. Ooh, very close.
Well, Cunningham is steady. She prefers to counter punch. It's too bad that she's not stronger or have a weapon, Barry, because she's got a pretty good head on her shoulders. Seems to hit too short most of the time. The one shot she has hit well so far in this first set is her forehand down the line when Gabby has come up to net on that side.
So a chance now. Sabatini up, love 30 here, 2 points away from the first set. Cunningham to serve. Just hits the top of the net. Sabatini trying a very delicate little shot there, Billy.
It seems like today when the players have tried drop volleys, they've been short. They've been going in the net, both the men and the women. I think the grass is has so much dew on it, and it's lush. It's the first day. I think players are a little more tight in first rounds. I think you got to get a little more punch.
Also, don't you think there's a temptation with the soft grass just to try that drop volley a little too much, because the ball will die on this stuff? Oh, Cunningham.
40.
It looked like that ball slid through, Barry. Surprised Cunningham.
So
when it slid through, it stayed lower, and Cunningham had trouble getting under the ball.
double set point here, 15-40. The number 4 seed, Gabriela Sabatini, trying to win this first set out on court number 1. And there it is.
First set for Sabatini, 7 games to 5.
Gabriela Sabatini with a solid forehand up the line, catches Cunningham. And so Sabatini with the first set out here on court number 1. Let's go back to you, Jim.
Coming up, over the course of the past couple of years with a coach named Carlos Kirrily. Now they split. Kirrily gone. She's with another coach. Why and what's the drill?
Well, apparently I was actually on the shortlist to be her coach, although I heard the shortlist was 100 in the end, but whatever. But I heard that they just got stale of each other's company. They just both felt that they weren't fresh anymore, and Dennis Ralston got asked for the job, and I think he will help her a lot.
All right, we're going to take a look now at another Wimbledon veteran who has been the center of so many stories here over the years, Ivan Lendl. In number 1, Gabriela Sabatini.
All right, Jim. The number 4 seed, Gabriela Sabatini, leading 5-1 out here with a set. She won the first set 7-5. Sabatini serving at 5-1 against Carrie Cunningham.
15 love.
Sabatini, Billy, I think serving much better in this second set than she did earlier in the match.
She is. Dennis Ralston, her coach, has been trying to get her to swing harder and get more momentum on the face of her racket. This is the top of the serve. He wants her to go slow in the beginning and then quick to the top. Slow and then quick.
And solid serve and volley tennis from Sabatini. So Gabriela now 2 points away from moving into the second round, up 30 love.
Gabby much more forceful this second set than in the first set, which she won 7-5. And Carrie being very steady, but doesn't really have a weapon. She was number 1 in the 16s in the U.S. in 1988. She's got wins over Maleeva.
30-15.
Sabatini goes for what sounded like a pretty flat second serve. Billy took a chance.
I think she's trying to do something different, anything to be more aggressive, because she certainly wasn't aggressive enough in the first set.
Oh, yes. Sabatini missing a big opportunity to close that point out.
30 all.
Well, Carrie's best shot today has been that forehand down the line passing shot. She's pretty good lefty. She can hook it.
30 all. Oh. Unbelievable point. Oh, no!
She can't believe it. Wearing my sunglasses, I still missed it when the ball was in the sun. Well, both players giving everything they've got at this point. And you see Cunningham even getting back to this, but cannot
40,
put
30.
the ball away.
Not really that tough a shot, except the sun obviously bothered her. Big opportunity there. Instead, now, match point.
Sabatini definitely trying to get more velocity on her first serve.
Fantastic shot by Cunningham.
Well, Carrie knew this is great. This is a great reflex. Half volley, swinging forehand, and to go forward. Good instinct there to catch the ball in the air.
Tremendous points here. It's deuce. There's that forehand you just mentioned, Billy, up the line. Boy, she loves to hit that shot.
Advantage is Cunningham.
She loves to be a counter puncher. Actually, both players do. But Sabatini definitely more aggressive, stronger in her physical build as well than Carrie Cunningham.
Oh, Sabatini blows a backhand volley cross court, and so Cunningham stays alive out here on court number 1. 5-2, Sabatini leading. Oh,
Miss Sabatini leads 5-2.
Missed some big opportunities there to close this match out.
Sabatini's had trouble with that drop volley today. She's hit it short. But so have a lot of other players during the day. It's amazing. I think it's the first day that's just difficult. I hated first rounds.
Billy, you've often said the finish is what makes a difference between a champion and just a competitor, and certainly Sabatini maybe needs to finish a little stronger those kind of situations.
Sabatini's had a very poor year for her. She hasn't won a tournament since last year when she won the Italian championships. She has a new coach, Dennis Ralston. She and Carlos Carmero, as John Lloyd said earlier in the telecast, that they basically just kind of got burned out. And since Kiermaier has been with Arantxa, Sanchez, Vicario, she's done better. And of course, here you see the serve. Good split step. Beautiful hands. Good balance. Excellent balance. Yeah, she's got her feet moving, going forward, catching the ball way out in front at point of contact. And again, not getting to that down the line forehand from Carrie Cunningham.
So now Sabatini leading 5-2 with the first set, 7-5, trying to close this match out here on court number 1. Cunningham to serve. Cunningham, born in Livonia, Michigan, now living in Southfield, Michigan.
Bit
of a low bounce there. That ball slides off the slick first day grass at Wimbledon.
It really does. And of course, your footing is suspect as well. You feel a little uncoordinated. Favorite forehand, the off forehand, just inside the line. And we'll get to take another look at her beautiful looping wind up there. Watch, here we go. She steps over there and hits it just inside the line.
15 all, 2-5. Cunningham down a set. Oh, and a miss hit, Billy. She went for the roundhouse forehand on a fairly short ball there.
Very difficult to execute. The ball was bouncing, staying so low. Her coaches are Joe Fidel and Armin Molino. I know Armin Molino. They're at Franklin Racket Club in Southfield, Michigan.
Oh, yes, a punch volley.
To come back after making a mistake to stay in it. You see a good serve volley situation here. Look how high that comes over the net. But the important thing is that Carrie knew she was off the court and had to make a put away on that. Excellent cross-court backhand volley.
Big points in that first set were the 8th game when Cunningham double faulted twice after 4 deuces. That really cost her the first set. Just catches the tape.
40.
Not that tough a shot, and so now Sabatini with match point out here on court number 1.
This is where Cunningham wishes she had a big weapon like a first serve. She's basically just hangs in there with intensity, good concentration.
No, it goes wide. Sabatini trying to come in behind that slice backhand. How about that open court, Billy? I thought she would go for more on the forehand there, Sabatini.
She's not going for enough, and when she does go, she's trying to make it too close to the line. Sabatini's had a very tough year at the French. She lost to Mary Jo Fernandez in the quarterfinals in an absolutely most heartbreaking match.
Oh, yes. Gabriela really hit a ball that shot off that court. Looked like a bit of a bad bounce, but she handled it.
Well, that's her best backhand, the off backhand or the backhand down the line.
Once again, Gabby trying to close this match out over here.
Deuce.
Very deep serve by Cunningham. First serve in when she needs it. It's deuce.
I thought it looked long. Gabby had 5 match points against Mary Jo Fernandez in the quarterfinals this year. She was up a set and 5-1. Had a match point, is up 5-3, and had 4 more match points. Third longest match in the open air at 3 hours and 36 minutes.
She'll wake up at night a few years from now thinking about that match. Too much.
See, I think that match just hurt her self-confidence. It wasn't good anyway, but that kind of really just put her in the doldrums. And here you see
Advantage,
Sabatini
Miss
in this, but Carrie Cunningham really controlling this point with a terrific good cross-court forehand. And Gabby, not too quick off the dime there, Barry. Looking rather slow.
Chance for Cunningham here to get to 5-3.
Deuce.
Easy forehand, but it looked like she changed her mind.
Well, it looks like she tries to do too much. She loops it too much. She needs it a little bit flatter and get one step more forward so the vertical point of contact is higher. She lets it drop too low and then she tries to hook it over.
Sabatini showing some respect for the Cunningham serve, about 2 feet behind the baseline on the return.
Should be 2 feet inside the baseline.
Yeah. Yes. Sabatini just waited for Cunningham to make a move and then hit behind her, actually. She was leaning to her left.
Advantage, Miss Sabatini.
Sometimes Cunningham reminds me of Michael Chang a little bit on grass. She's too much of a retriever. And sometimes when she gets a short shot, she hooks her forehand and the ball sits up for Sabatini instead of hitting it flatter and coming in or doing something different.
Match point for Gabriela Sabatini. Court number 1, round 1. Ooh, Sabatini leaving lots of room down that center. And a double fault. And there it is. Gabriela Sabatini finally wins this match out here on court number 1. Not an easy match for her against Carrie Cunningham. 7-5 the first set, a tight set, and 6-2. So Gabriela Sabatini into the second round. Let's have a look at her draw now. Gabriela into the second round. Will be really have her hands full there. Medvedeva certainly tough, Billy, and I see some trouble for her there.
Well, there's Kathy Rinaldi who could really give her some trouble, I think, if she gets by Romano.
All right, back to you, Jim, for some other scores from around the grounds.
On a beautiful midsummer day in Southwest 19, London. The flag flying just a little bit further out from the pole now as the breeze has picked up a bit, and we look at scores from other matches. On court 7, former NCAA champion Jared Palmer of Stanford University in the United States, a 4-set winner over Grant Stafford of South Africa. Julie Allard of France last year knocked Arantxa Sanchez Vicario out of the tournament. Today she's knocked out by Naoku Sawamatsu of Japan. Jaco Elting of the Netherlands was defeated by Olympic gold medalist Marc Rosset of Switzerland, man who a couple of years ago, or check it, Elting defeated Rosset. And so Rosset, the Olympic gold medalist, is knocked out of the tournament. Brad Gilbert knocked off Christian Bergström of Sweden in 4 sets. Henrik Holm of Sweden is a talented player who's regarded as having a chance to someday win a Grand Slam championship, and Holm defeated Richard Fromberg of Australia. And right now we are going to go back to court number 2, the upset court, to pick up Stefan, whom you just saw knocking out Greg Rusedski in a 4-set match on court number 2. Jim Courier of the United States was quite impressive in a straight set win over Gianluca Pozzi of Italy. Michael Stich of Germany, as we told you, quite impressive in a straight set win over Jan Simmerich of the Netherlands. Andre Agassi of the United States expected to get a tough test because of his injury and the fact that he's overweight. He looked terrific and beat Karbacher of Germany in straight sets, Love in the third. Richard Krajicek of the Netherlands looked about as good as anybody. Straight sets over a very good player, Nicholas Kulte of Sweden. Maleeva Washington of the United States, Maleeva Washington, I should say, seeded 14th, a four-set winner over Guillaume Roch of France. Luis Herrera of Mexico scored the big upset of the day, knocking out 15th seeded Karol Novacek, the Czech native, in 5 sets, 6-3, 6-3, 6-3 in third, fourth, and fifth. On the women's side, Gabriela Sabatini got a little bit of a struggle with Carrie Cunningham of the USA, but beat her 7-5, 6-2. Magdalena Maleeva, one of the 3 Maleeva sisters who are seeded in sequence here, 10th, 11th, and 12th, defeated Leila Meskhi of Georgia. And Manuela Maleeva Franier, her sister, seeded 11th, defeated Lorna Woodruff of Great Britain straight sets, 7-5, 6-4. Amanda Kutzer of South Africa, a winner over Sandrine Testude of France, giving up a set in the middle. Right now, we bring you back to our studio. Once again, our brand new commentator, John Lloyd. You just completed your first day of work with us this year. Your impressions of the most important things you've seen looking down the road toward what might happen in the future in the tournament.
The skies were sunny, the grounds were dry and particularly green, and that meant, of course, that the players needed only to battle their opponents and not the wicked British elements. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the All England Club and HBO's Wimbledon Highlight Show. I'm Andrea Joyce. During the next hour, we will have plenty of highlights for you from day one. But first, extended coverage of our match of the day. Earlier today, it was defending champion Andre Agassi against Bernd Karbacher. The 21-year-old from Livonia, Michigan. Sabatini, a finalist in '91, hoping to find the aggression she needs to win her first Wimbledon title. 2-1 Sabatini, Cunningham serving in the first set.
Stretch there from Sabatini, but she's out of position there. Good rally from Cunningham.
Cunningham moving Sabatini all over the court. First set, 4-3 Sabatini.
Short slice there. Great backhand cross court.
Sabatini goes on to win that first set, 7-5. Now we move on to the second set. Sabatini serving up 2-love.
It's the new Dennis Rolson coach serve there, serve volleying. That's the way she's got to play if she's going to win this tournament.
And now it's Cunningham running across court. Sabatini rolling now in control, up 5-1 in the second set. Cunningham trying to hold on.
Another serve volley. I like that aggressiveness about her.
Oh, what a save from Cunningham.
Great stretch. She loved that one.
Once again, though, match point for Gabriela Sabatini.
Game, set, match, Sabatini.
And a double fault, so Sabatini goes on to win the match in straight sets, 7-5, 6-2. Back to the men's side, number 2, Stefan. Magdalena Maleeva up against Leila Meskhi. Maggie, the youngest but highest ranked of the Maleeva sisters. Meskhi serving down 1-4 in the first.
Good court coverage here by Maleeva. Nice touch, good feel on that volley.
Maleeva still up a break in the first set.
Good forehand ground stroke there. Should have been into net on that one. Here she comes now. Good overhead, good point. There's the big weapon.
Maleeva finishes that one off, and she goes on to win the first set, 6-2. In the second set, Maleeva still in control, up 3-love. Meskhi serving.
Into the net, that's what she's got to do. Good little volley, good touch.
Match point for Maggie.
Good aggressive play. I like that way. I like the way she came into the net. Good volley to finish it.
And Maggie Maleeva, straight set winner today, 6-2, 6-2. The number 7 of South Africa, a winner today over Robertus Azar in straight sets. It was the number 15 seed Karl Novacek losing to Luis Herrera in 5 sets. On the women's side, the number 9 seed Anke Huber of Germany defeats Cecilia Dahlmann. And Manuela Maleeva Frenier, one of 3 Maleeva sisters in this tournament, defeats Lorna Woodruff of Great Britain, a 16-year-old who gave her a tough match. Also today, the number 14 seed Amanda Kutzer advances to the second round, as does Helena Sukova, also advancing in straight sets. Time now for us to take a look at how some of this year's dark horses did on day 1.
Now let's go back to Barry McKay and John. Shirli-Ann Siddall of Great Britain, but after having done so, Capriati steadied her own game, dominated the rest of the match with her ground strokes. We show you triple match point on court number 2, the famed upset court, where Jennifer has had some nervous moments in past years. That was the first serve for Siddall in the far court. This the 4th year at Wimbledon for Jennifer Capriati, who was the youngest seeded player ever here, the youngest semifinalist ever, and who won that match in 3 sets over Siddall, as you see, 6-7, 6-2, 6-1. Later in the interview room, she spoke to our Andrea Joyce.
Jennifer, you got off to a...
Uruguay's Diego Perez in straight sets, 6-4, 6-4, 6-4. Thomas Muster of Austria becomes the 2nd seeded man to be knocked out of the tournament, beaten by the Frenchman Olivier Delettre in 3 sets, 7-5, 6-4, 6-2. Here's the other mother on the WTA Tour, Laura Gildemeister of Peru, beaten today by Roz Fairbanks-Neidefer of Australia, 6-2, 4-6, and 6-1. So if Smiley is beaten by Capriati, both of the mothers on the WTA Tour will be gone from Wimbledon. Austria's Judith Wiesner, a winner today over Stephanie Rothier of the Netherlands in straight sets, 6-1, 6-4. And in an all-Australian match, Rachel McQuillan beat Jenny Byrne, 6-4, 6-2. Now, a little bit earlier, we showed you Boris Becker turning his match with Mark. Meanwhile, let's go to Michelle Jaggard-Lai against Martina Navratilova on center court.
Love. Well, that's the serve that Craig Carden and I have worked with Martina the last 4 years to be able to hit the inside of the ball so she can hit wide on that deuce court.
We're arriving in the second set here. Navratilova took the first set 6-2. It is 2-love Navratilova as we bring you to game 3 of the second. Wearing shorts, Billie Jean.
She's just decided this year she wants to wear shorts for a while. I don't know, players go through these different ideas of what makes them feel comfortable. I must say, last week at Eastbourne, it was so windy that Martina was very happy about wearing the shorts, and the other players were thinking about doing the same.
40-15.
There's Michelle getting rid of some of the loose grass on the bottom of her shoe.
Tasty worked with us at the beginning of the day, and Martina closes out the game with an ace. Michelle Jaggard-Lai is an Australian woman who lives in Amsterdam with her husband, who plays in the Spanish Soccer League. And here's an overall statistical analysis to this point in set 2, Billie Jean, of Jaggard-Lai against Navratilova.
Well, first serve percentage equal at 59 each. Not very good. Winners, Martina quite a bit ahead there. And unforced errors, Martina only at 3 and Jaggard-Lai at 7. And, of course, Jaggard-Lai has lost 3 service games versus Martina's been broken once. Pretty comfortable for Martina Navratilova.
Jaggard-Lai. Every time I hear that last name, I'm wondering if she's going to use her sand wedge for the next shot.
Well, I hope she gets a good lie.
She's got a bad lie in the draw because she has to play Martina in the first round. We mentioned that Boris Becker, of course, among the men, has spent favorably with a 4-set win over former Wimbledon junior champion Nick Pereira of Venezuela. Wally Masur of Australia, a lot of people's favorite dark horse to win the tournament because of his skill on grass and the fact that he's having a brilliant year, defeated Javier Sanchez of Spain in straight sets, 6-1, 6-4, 7-6. Byron Black of Zimbabwe, a winner over Robbie Weiss of the United States in 4 sets. Javier Frana, the Argentine left-hander, eliminated Englishman Jeremy Bates, who made such a spirited run into the 4th round here a year ago, 6-4, 7-5, 7-6. Big disappointment for the English tennis fans. And Jamie Morgan of Australia defeated Andrei Chesnikov, 6-3, 6-4, 4-6, and 6-4. So Morgan, a bright young the world Michelle Jaggard-Lai.
Love 15.
Jennifer Capriati's opponent earlier today, Shirli-Ann Siddall, was ranked 325th in the world. Steffi Graf's opponent, Kirrily Sharpe, well up into the hundreds.
$15 all.
That looked wide to me.
I think it looked wide to Michelle.
I agree with her.
Never moved on the ball.
Well, the lines person called good. Now, Kirrily Sharpe had to go through qualifying, Jim, whereas Siddall was a wild card because she's British. Good play. Michelle got her body out of the way of that return.
15-30.
It's not so easy against the left-handed serve because the ball keeps steering into your right hip. You have to move way to your left.
30 all. $40-30.
Match point, Navratilova.
Deuce.
Martina was ready to shake hands. And that ball,
at the net for the handshake.
and that ball just curved in there. Watch how it curves in. Martina's about ready to shake hands inside the court. Keep going.
Advantage, Miss Navratilova.
Great playing from Jaggard-Lai, getting Martina off of the net.
Well, you
Fans
talked
enjoying
about how Gilner and Becker were having fun. Jaggard-Lai seems to be having the time of her life out here, and it must be a kick for a relatively inexperienced player with no prospects in the tournament to play Martina in the first round on center court.
It is. They know it's a privilege. Not a bad play to hit right at Martina. Although it's difficult to go through great players, you better keep it low. Of course, that one was too high and out.
Maybe she was trying to crown her.
She was.
Deuce.
Still no handshake.
Jaggard-Lai doing an excellent job of moving Martina up and back and keeping her off balance.
Advantage,
yelling
Miss
at the
Navratilova.
ball. Get out.
Match point number 3.
Well, Martina just said 3's a charm.
Game, set, match with Navratilova.
And with that,
6-1.
Martina Navratilova pressing on toward what would be 3 years from now, her 20th appearance in the Wimbledon singles. Moves past Michelle Jaggard-Lai into the second round, where Martina's opponent will be an old adversary, Roz Fairbanks-Nijdefer. There was a time several years ago when this might have been a relatively interesting grass court test for Martina. At this stage of their two careers, Navratilova has to rank as an overwhelming favorite. Now let's take you back to court.
Arantxa Sanchez Vicario, the number 3 seed, 3-ranking player in the world, taking on Zrubakova, Radka Zrubakova from Czechoslovakia. Sanchez up a set, leading 5-1, trying to close it out over here on court 1.
Yeah, she's been very impressive today.
She has.
Very sharp.
A little bit like Michael Chang, she's done some volleying, John.
Yeah, she's coming in a lot. Impressive match. Very positive from the start to the finish. Playing very well.
And that ball will go wide. And so Arantxa Sanchez Vicario, a solid win out here on the number 1 court, with a win over the young lass from Czechoslovakia. And so Arantxa into the second round. She is out there solid. She'll take on Neeland. And so Sanchez Vicario, a solid win, moves into round 2. And so that's the story from 1. Jim, back to you.
In the world, Pete Sampras of the United States, who managed in 4 sets to defeat Neil Borwick of Australia. Sampras dropped the first set in a tiebreaker, came back to defeat Borwick by steadying his game, getting his serve in gear, demonstrating that his injured shoulder wasn't bothering him. Final scores in the match, 6-7, 6-3, 7-6, 6-3. And as we look at some other scores from play today, Boris Becker on center court also dropped the first set, this to his countryman Mark Gellner, then came back to play very steadily in winning 6-3, 6-2, 6-4. Ivanisevic, as you just saw, tested to the limit by Jonathan Stark of the United States, down 2-1, won a clutch tiebreaker at the end of the 4th, won the 5th set 6-4. Goran moves on in the draw. 18-year-old Ukrainian sensation Andrei Medvedev, one of the greatest young talents in the sport, defeated Morang in 4 sets. He moves on in the draw. Peter Korda of the Czech Republic, finalist in the French Open a year ago, a winner over Strelba in straight sets, 6-1, 6-2, 6-1. Michael Chang, in a continuation of a match played yesterday against Paul Harhaus of the Netherlands, won in the 5th, 6-4, so Chang moves on forward in the draw. He would get Evo in the round of 16 if they both follow form. Steffi Graf beat Kirrily Sharpe of Australia. Martina Navratilova got an easy victory on center court against Michelle Jaggard-Lai. Arantxa Sanchez Vicario of Spain, seated higher than ever here, defeated Radka Zrubakova 6-1, 6-1. Conchita Martinez of Spain, the 6th seed among the women, moved forward with a straight set win herself. Jennifer Capriati of the United States lost the first set to the 325th ranked woman in the world. Shirli-Ann Siddall came back to win 6-2, 6-1 in the 2nd and 3rd. And Jana Novotná of the Czech Republic, also a straight set winner today, and she moves forward in the draw. She's the 8th seeded woman. Billie Jean, obviously most of the buzz tonight is going to be about Ivanisevic's miracle escape. He showed you once again the...
Day 2 at Wimbledon. Time to round up the women in London for Ladies' Day at the All England Club. On the court today, 2-time defending champion Steffi Graf paid a visit, as did Martina Navratilova, looking for an unprecedented 10th singles title, while teenager Jennifer Capriati chases her first Grand Slam championship. Full day at the All England Club, perfect as the women compete for the 100th Ladies Championship at Wimbledon. Maud Watson won the first back in 1884 in a field of only, believe it or not, 13 players. Welcome to the All England Club, everyone, and HBO's Wimbledon Highlight Show. I'm Andrea Joyce, along with Billie Jean King. We mentioned that it was Ladies' Day here today, and what an impressive day for two women in particular, namely the top two seeds, Steffi Graf and Martina Navratilova.
Well, you're absolutely right, Andrea. In fact, Steffi Graf, the four-time Wimbledon champion, went up against Kirrily Sharpe, the young lefty from Australia, and she beat her 6-love, the 16th time in her career that she's bageled her opponent. Also on center court today was Martina Navratilova when she beat Michelle Jaggard-Lai 6-2, 6-1, and Martina's a happy camper out there on center court. 9-time Wimbledon champion, not bad.
All right, we will, of course, have highlights of both of those matches a little bit later on in our show. But first, extended coverage of our match of the day. Top seed Pete Sampras nursing a sore for two-time defending champion Steffi Graf against Kirrily Sharpe of Australia. Now, Graf has been troubled by a foot injury, but it didn't seem to slow her down at all today, Billy.
Not at all, Andrea. In fact, she was practicing her chipping and her charging and her volleying all over the place.
Sharpe serving at love 5. First set took just 18 minutes, and Sharpe was unable to win a game.
Graf continued to charge the net and showed us some touch.
Second set now, Graf serving at 4-love.
The old reliable, the winning forehand cross court.
Match point now for Steffi Graf. Solid start for Steffi Graf, going after her 5th Wimbledon title. I asked her about adjusting her game for grass.
I've been trying to do it for the past year or so. Try to come in more, and obviously on grass that's the right attitude to have. And it's just everything that I did today worked. I had a very good return. I had a solid game.
Another former Wimbledon singles titles, Martina Navratilova met up with Michelle Jaggard-Lai this afternoon. On serve in the first, Jaggard serving.
And Martina owns center court as well. Martina always trying to go forward.
That point there led to a Martina break. Navratilova serving now at 4-2 in the first. A lot of grass court preparation, Billy, for Martina, and it pays off.
Yes, it is. And of course, she's going to be at net, following every opportunity she can.
She won that first set 6-2. Now we're in the second set.
And that's a shot she's been practicing the last 4 weeks. The drop, half volley.
Martina in control now, serving at 5-1 in the second.
Jaggard-Lai hustling all over the court, running to and fro, and has Martina on the run. Good hustle from Jaggard and Martina Navratilova.
Not quite enough, though. Match point for Martina. That's it. Martina begins her march to what she hopes will be an unprecedented 10th singles title.
I think this would be the sweetest of them all because it's a huge bonus because I really shouldn't be playing anymore. But I'm having a great time, and I didn't enjoy myself as much as I would have liked to. I think, again, the first match is pretty nerve-wracking, but I can't believe that I'm still here and still kicking, you know, alive and well. So we'll see.
Well, it's been suggested in the past, Billie Jean, that sometimes Martina's toughest opponent is herself. How's her head these days?
Well, quite frankly, her head 2 weeks ago wasn't very good when she lost to Christine Radford at Birmingham. But last week, she won the Eastbourne title there for the 11th time, and her self-confidence has just soared.
I always wondered, though, about a first-round match like this. She really cruised through it. Would she have preferred a little bit more of a workout?
No, she's very happy that she had an easy match because Martina really wanted to get used to the court surface, the wind, the sun, and start to remember how it feels to be out there on center court. So she was very happy that she had an easy match today.
All right, well, at 36 years old, a lot of people would call Martina an overachiever. Now here's a look at some of the players who've underachieved on grass. As on the women's side, the number 5 seed Mary Jo Fernandez advances to the second round. The number 6 seed Conchita Martinez of Spain defeats American Ginger Helgeson in straight sets. Jana Novotná also a straight set winner this afternoon. And Natalia Zvereva ousts the number 12 seed Katerina Maleeva. That means just 2 Maleeva sisters left in the Wimbledon tournament. The number 16 seed Toziot of France defeats Stubbs in straight sets, 7-5, 6-4. Zina Garrison-Jackson, a finalist here in 1990, defeats Sabine Hack of Germany in straight sets. On the men's side, it was the number 11 seed Korda over countryman Strelba, and Delet defeats Thomas Muster in straight sets. Time now to bring in another feature of our highlight show, the point of the day. And this is a chance for you to see another spectacular point that you might not see in some of our other highlights. This is from the Boris Becker-Mark Goldner match. Goldner, just 22 years old, gave Becker quite a tough battle out there this afternoon. Time now to look at some of the other young stars who did quite well.
Two teenagers hooked up on court 2, Jennifer Capriati and Britain's Shirli-Ann Siddall. Capriati got off to a shaky start, though, Billy.
Very shaky, making a lot of unforced errors. And it just seems as if Capriati is not with it anymore. Kind of flat when she plays.
She did come back, though, in the first set. The first set went to a tiebreak. We pick it up now at 4-all.
Well, Shirli-Ann Siddall was such a fighter today. She's so emotional on the court, but off the court she's very shy.
She had that home crowd support as well. Capriati serving at 5-6 in the tiebreak. And Siddall wins the first set, 7-6. Now in the second set, Capriati seemed to lift her game and became a lot more aggressive.
She did. She gets more aggressive when she gets down. It gives her a reason to get motivated again.
Capriati won the second set, 6-2. Now we're in the third. Capriati really hadn't played a match on grass since last year. How did she look to you?
She got better and better as the match progressed and became more aggressive.
Capriati in control. Match point now for Jennifer. Jennifer Capriati out in the quarters of the first 2 Grand Slams this year. Hopes to do better here at Wimbledon.
Well, I think I just have to turn my game up another notch, another level to beat the great players. And you just got to be aggressive and just everything has to be on.
Another young woman, the number 3 seed, Arantxa Sanchez Vicario, met up with Radka Zrubakova. First game in the first set.
Sanchez Vicario likes to be here at Wimbledon, has good touch, but she's had a new coach, Carlos Caramera, since the beginning of the year. And Carlos is really asking her to be more aggressive and to attack.
Now, she has never made it past the quarterfinals here at Wimbledon. Will he make the difference for her?
He could, because he'll get her to have some weapons, like at least go to net. She's got great touch, and she's got wonderful mobility.
Sanchez serving now at 4-1 in the first set. Very relaxed, calm, and cool, Arantxa Sanchez Vicario. She went on to win that first set 6-1, and now we're in the second.
Sanchez just waiting for the opportunity to get in and use that touch shot of hers.
That led to a break for Arantxa. She took total command of this match. Sanchez serving at 4-love in the second.
Arantxa, better than ever this year. Always going forward, Andrea.
Match point now. And a consistent, easy match for Arantxa, Sanchez, Vicario, 6-1, 6-1. The number 5 seed.
The images reverberate down through the decades. Echoes of proper English gentlemen and barnstorming New World pioneers and 4 French musketeers. Links to a tradition undeniably charming, though it exists really only to serve itself. And someday the newcomers will ask, who was Graf? What was she like? Why did they call her Fräulein Forehand? Did it really take Capriati all those years to first win Wimbledon? Wasn't she great right from the beginning? They play the game right here in the moment, but the ones with the awareness to become champion know that each stroke adds to a new chapter. Every step and slip across the grass court builds toward the resolution of a lifetime's dreams. And now, more champions in the making, more memories to be captured, more brushstrokes for the mural on day 3 at Wimbledon.
Number 2, 9th-seeded Richard Krajicek, an outsider to win the championship against his countryman Jaakko Elting. A lot of people believe Elting could pull the upset there. And Arantxa Sanchez Vicario against Larisa Nyland of Latvia. They've played 3 times, and Sanchez Vicario has won them all. As we mentioned, court number 1 begins today with Andre Agassi against João Cunha Silva of Brazil. We'll be taking you there momentarily. And Jennifer Capriati is on court number 1 against Liz Smiley of Australia. Liz Smiley is one of only 2 active mothers on the WTA Tour. Sandon Stolle of Australia, son of the great Fred Stolle, goes against 6th-seeded Michael Stich. Stich looked spectacular on day 1, in case you didn't catch it here. Over on center court, Steffi Graf, who played brilliantly yesterday, is on center court for a 2nd consecutive day against Claire Wood of Great Britain, whose first-round win here will probably put her in the top 100 for the first time in her career. Then Pete Sampras against the Australian Jamie Morgan. Morgan was brilliant at Queen's Club, beat Stefan Edberg. Sampras could be in trouble in that match if he's not at his best. Boris Becker played well on